The moment Angel Reese saw Caitlin Clark's latest LPGA deal announcement, she completely lost it. What happened next exposed a jealousy so deep that even her own teammates are starting to distance themselves. This isn't just about golf anymore. It's about one athlete watching her rival become the face of women's sports while she spirals into irrelevance. Caitlin Clark just secured an $8 million partnership with the LPGA that runs through 2026, and Angel Reese's reaction tells you everything you need to know about where their careers are headed. Within minutes of the announcement, Reese posted, "I can play golf too," on social media, then deleted it, then reposted it, then went on a blocking spree that had fans calling her desperate. But here's what nobody's talking about. Sources close to the Chicago Sky are saying Reese has been obsessing over Clark's success to the point where it's affecting her recovery from her wrist injury. Before we dive into this mess, drop a like if you think Angel Reese needs to focus on basketball instead of chasing Caitlin's shadow. Your support helps us bring you the latest WNBA drama. What makes this meltdown even more embarrassing is the timing. While Reese is still recovering from surgery and posting thirst traps on Instagram, Clark is revolutionizing women's sports despite dealing with her own injury setbacks this season. The Indiana Fever star has been managing a minor ankle issue, but still managed to negotiate this groundbreaking deal that includes appearances at major tournaments, her own signature golf line with Nike, and cross-promotional events that will put her face in front of millions who've never watched the WNBA. But that wasn't the whole story. Industry insiders are revealing that Angel Reese actually tried to get her own golf deal first. 3 different sources confirmed she reached out to the LPGA months ago, pitching herself as the authentic voice of young athletes, only to be politely rejected. They told her to focus on establishing herself in one sport before branching out. That rejection letter apparently arrived the same week Clark's deal was being finalized, which explains why Reese has been posting cryptic messages about fake people getting fake love for the past month. The numbers don't lie either. Clark's LPGA announcement generated over 50 million impressions in 24 hours. Reese's response tweet barely cracked 200,000 before she deleted it out of embarrassment. Even worse, Clark's golf content from last November's Pro-Am event still gets more views than Reese's recent basketball highlights. One clip of Clark casually sinking a 20-foot putt has 12 million views. Reese's career-high game from last season sits at 3 million. What happened next would shock everyone in the WNBA community. Angel Reese started reaching out to other players trying to organize what she called a response campaign to Clark's deal. She wanted teammates and rivals to post about how one player doesn't represent all of us, but nobody wanted to touch it. Even players who aren't Clark fans recognized how petty and desperate it looked. Diamond DeShields reportedly told Reese straight up to stop making everything about Caitlin during a private conversation that turned into a heated argument. Here's where it gets really interesting. The LPGA didn't just choose Clark randomly. They conducted extensive market research that showed she appeals to demographics that traditionally ignore women's golf: young families, casual sports fans, and surprisingly, teenage boys who follow her from her college days. Angel Reese's demographic research showed the opposite. Her controversial personality actually turns off potential sponsors. One marketing executive who requested anonymity said, "Reese is talented, but she's toxic to family brands. Clark is the complete package." The jealousy runs deeper than just business, though. Sources within the Chicago Sky organization are saying Reese has been monitoring Clark's social media obsessively, sometimes spending hours analyzing her posts and comparing engagement rates. She's reportedly created multiple burner accounts to leave comments on Clark content, though she denies this. Team psychologists have allegedly suggested she take a social media break, advice she's ignored completely. But here's the part that really exposes the delusion. Angel Reese genuinely believes she's more marketable than Caitlin Clark. In a leaked group chat from January 2025, she told friends that brands are scared of strong Black women, and that's why Clark gets more deals. She conveniently ignores that Aja Wilson, who's also Black, has massive endorsement deals because she focuses on excellence instead of drama. The real difference isn't race, it's that Clark shows up and performs while Reese shows up and complains. What makes this even more pathetic is that Clark hasn't responded to any of Reese's provocations. Not once. She's too busy actually working on her golf game, rehabbing her ankle, and preparing for the upcoming WNBA season. While Reese tweets and deletes, Clark trains. While Reese seeks attention, Clark seeks improvement. The contrast is so stark that even casual fans are starting to notice the maturity gap. The financial implications are staggering too. Clark's LPGA deal, combined with her existing Nike contract and other endorsements, puts her total earnings near $15 million for 2025. Angel Reese's endorsement portfolio barely cracks $2 million, and that's being generous. Even worse for Reese, several brands that initially showed interest have quietly backed away after seeing her social media behavior over the past few months. But that wasn't even the most embarrassing part. Angel Reese actually showed up uninvited to a Nike golf event in Phoenix, where Clark was doing a photo shoot. Security had to escort her out after she tried to insert herself into the production, claiming she was there for a meeting that nobody could verify. The incident was kept quiet, but multiple witnesses saw her arguing with security while Clark continued working, completely unbothered. The desperation has reached new levels in recent weeks. Reese has been pitching herself to reality TV shows, podcast networks, and even tried to get a spot on a celebrity golf tournament that Clark was already confirmed for. Each rejection seems to fuel more social media outbursts. She recently posted and deleted a rant about how the media picks their favorites before her publicist apparently intervened. What's really killing Angel Reese is that Caitlin Clark's success isn't just about talent, it's about professionalism. Clark shows up on time, treats everyone with respect, and never creates unnecessary drama. Sponsors love that, parents trust that, leagues invest in that. Reese thinks being loud and controversial makes her marketable, but it actually makes her a liability. The LPGA executives were reportedly so impressed with Clark's professionalism during negotiations that they increased their initial offer by $2 million. They saw someone who could represent their sport with class and dignity. Meanwhile, Reese's own team, the Chicago Sky, had to implement social media guidelines specifically because of her online behavior. That's the difference between a superstar and someone who thinks they're a superstar. Here's something that just leaked from inside the Fever organization. Sophie Cunningham, Clark's new teammate for 2025, has been helping Clark with her golf game, and their chemistry is already incredible. They've been spotted at driving ranges together, with Cunningham actually being a solid golfer herself. This partnership is exactly what the Fever needed. Two professionals who support each other instead of tearing others down. Drop a comment below if you think Angel Reese should apologize to Caitlin Clark or just give up trying to compete with her off the court. The psychology behind Reese's behavior is actually fascinating. Sports psychologists call it comparative failure syndrome, where an athlete becomes so fixated on a rival's success that they sabotage their own career. Reese checks Clark's stats more than her own. She knows Clark's endorsement deals better than her own playbook. She's literally studying the wrong game. But the real tragedy is that Angel Reese is actually talented. If she focused half the energy she spends obsessing over Clark on improving her own game, she might actually deserve some of these endorsement deals. Instead, she's become the poster child for wasted potential, the cautionary tale of what happens when jealousy overtakes ambition. The latest development is even more shocking. Multiple WNBA players are now privately expressing frustration with Reese for making the entire league look petty. They're tired of every Caitlin Clark achievement becoming an Angel Reese tantrum. Diana Taurasi reportedly called Reese's behavior embarrassing for all of us during a private players' meeting. Even players who initially supported Reese are backing away. What nobody's talking about is how this affects the broader growth of women's basketball. Clark's LPGA deal brings new eyes to the WNBA. Her cross-sport appeal elevates everyone. But Reese's constant negativity and jealousy create the exact opposite effect. They make the league look unprofessional and catty. Sponsors see that drama and think twice about investing. The numbers from 2025 tell the whole story. Games featuring Caitlin Clark average 40% higher viewership than games without her, even when she's injured. Angel Reese's games have actually seen declining viewership since her injury, with fans openly admitting they're tired of her off-court antics. One doesn't build a brand through excellence, the other destroys it through envy. Here's the ultimate irony. If Angel Reese had just supported Caitlin Clark's success, she probably would have benefited from it. Rising tides lift all boats. Clark's popularity brings attention to the entire league. But Reese chose jealousy over growth, bitterness over betterment, and now she's watching from the sidelines as Clark builds an empire. The future is already written. Caitlin Clark will continue breaking barriers, signing deals, and elevating women's sports. Angel Reese will continue tweeting, deleting, and wondering why the world doesn't revolve around her. One athlete understands that success requires work, humility, and professionalism. The other thinks it requires Instagram followers and controversy. As we head into the 2025 WNBA season, the gap between these two players will only widen. Clark's ankle injury will heal, and she'll come back stronger. Reese's jealousy problem won't heal because she doesn't even acknowledge it exists. And that's the real tragedy. Angel Reese could have been great, but she chose to be bitter instead. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the latest WNBA drama, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The 2025 season is going to be wild, and you don't want to miss a single moment of it.